Welcome children. This Civics Unit 2, Chapter number 3. Why do we need a parliament? As Indians, we all are proud of the fact that our country is a democracy. In this chapter, the students will we will get to know about some of the functions of the Indian Parliament. It also discusses the idea of parliamentary democracy. One will get to understand the relation between ideas of individuals, participants in the process of decision making, and a democratic government's need to have the consent of the country's citizens. These two elements are crucial in making a stable democracy. These are best expressed through the institution of parliament. Why should people decide? Our country became independent on August 15, 1947. It was preceded by a struggle over a long period of time in which people from all sections of the society had participated. The people who had joined the freedom struggle were inspired by ideas related to equality, freedom, and participations in the process of decision making. These people did not approve of the ways through which the British were ruling our country. So let me give you a brief introduction about British reign. During the British rule, whenever the people of India tried to protest against India, they faced grave danger in the form of severe punishment. After the freedom movement started, the situation started changing on a small scale. The Indian nationalists started criticizing the British government and making demands. It was in 1885 when the newly formed Indian National Congress placed a demand in the front of British government to allow elected Indian members to discuss the budget and ask related questions. Subsequently, the Government of Indian Act 1909 was passed where the British government allowed some elected representations. However, they did not allow the Indian citizens to vote or to participate in the process of decision making. As the colonial government did not allow the people of our country to make decisions, therefore, after taking part in the freedom movement on a large scale, the citizens became aware of this fact that in independent India they would be able to participate in decision making. So once the country became independent, the government tried to remain sensitive to the demands of the people. The dreams of a common Indian citizen became true after the Indian constitution laid down the rules of universal adult franchise. Now, what is the universal adult franchise? Here, where its citizens above the age of 18 got the role of parliament. The Indian parliament was created after 1947. The institution is an expression of faith which the citizens of India have in the principles of democracy. It is the participation of citizens in the process of decision making and government by their consent. Since the Indian Parliament is represented by the common people, therefore it has immense powers. The election to the parliaments are held in the same way as those to the state legislature. All the citizens of India whose age is more than 18 years are entitled to vote. Currently, our country is divided into 543 constituencies. When the election takes place, candidates from different political parties take part in it from each constituency. Once a candidate wins, he automatically gets entry into the parliament. Hence, the MPs, that is the member of parliaments, are the winning candidates who belong to different political parties. Once a candidate gets elected, he becomes an MP. Together, this MP constitute the parliament. These MPs need to perform different functions which are as follows. To select the national parliament, the President, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha form the Indian parliament. Once the Lok Sabha election gets over, a list is prepared which shows how many MPs each political party has. If the political party wishes to form the union government, it needs to have a majority of MPs in the House. There are 543 elected members in the Lok Sabha. Out of these, 2 are nominated members from the Anglo-Indian community. To form a government, a political party needs to have at least half of the seats, that is 272 or more members should be from that party. The political party which has the second largest number of seats in the House plays the role of opposition party against the ruling party. Selecting an executive is one of the most important functions of the Lok Sabha. This executive is a group of MPs who work together to implement the parliament's laws in different ways. The term executive always comes to mind when we use the word government. The leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha is the Prime Minister, that is the PM. The Prime Minister selects ministers for different departments for the group of MPs from his ruling party. They work under the PM to implement different decisions. These ministers are in charge of different areas such as finance, health, education, etc. In the recent time, it has been seen that during elections, a single party has failed to get more than 50% or 272 seats in the Lok Sabha, which is a requirement to form a union government. In such a case, they join hands with other political independent party have similar concerns. Such a government is known as a coalition government. Another body, Rajya Sabha, functions as the representation of the Indian states in the parliament. It has power to initiate legislation. A bill has to be passed in the Rajya Sabha so that it can become a law. Hence, it plays a great role in altering and reviewing the laws that the Lok Sabha passes. The Legislative Assembly of different states elects the members of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha has a total 233 elected members. Out of these, 12 members are nominated by the President. These members are distinguished personalities of different fields such as art, literature, sports, etc. To control, guide and inform the government. When it is session, the parliament begins with question hour. It is considered as an important mechanism through which the MPs are able to elicit about the working of the union government. It is an important way through which the central government is controlled by the parliament. As the MPs ask questions in the parliament, the government is all alerted of its shortcomings so that it could be present in a particular rule that is presenting. Asking questions regarding any bill is a crucial task that every MP is entitled to perform. The opposition has a crucial role in ensuring that the democracy functions in a healthy manner. They highlight different drawbacks that are present in various programs and policies that union government presents. They also mobilize support for their own policies. Whenever an MP asks a question, the government gets a healthy feedback through it. It also keeps the ruling government on its toe. Apart from that, the government needs approval of the government while dealing with matters related to finance. It is one of the few ways through which Parliament guides, controls and informs the central government. As the representatives of the people of the MPs have a key role in guiding, controlling and informing the Parliament. It is a key aspect of the way in which the Indian democracy functions. Now, who are the people in the Parliament? People from different backgrounds get elected as MPs in the parliament. For example, regional parties have MPs from rural areas. Peoples and groups who are unrepresented earlier now have found a seat in the parliament. Nowadays, there has been an increase in backward caste people, that is Dalit, one's participation in the parliament. The following table shows the percentage of the people who voted during parliamentary elections. Lok Sabha first election, which was held in 1951-52, the turnout percentage of the voter was 61.16. Like that, it is given for the fourth Lok Sabha election, fifth Lok Sabha election, sixth Lok Sabha election, eighth, 10th, and so on. Now, from the above table, it is clear that a society's perfect reflection is not produced through representative democracy. It shows that when experience and interest separates us, it is crucial to ensure that those communities which are historically marginalized get adequate representation. Now, children, I would like to clear marginalized means the people who belong to the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Keeping this thing in mind, our lawmakers have reserved a few seats for those belonging to SC, that is scheduled caste, and ST, that is scheduled tribes categories. It has been done so that the candidates getting selected from these regions get familiar with the problem that the Dalits face. They can represent the Dalit and Adivasis' interest in the parliament. Recently, it was suggested that a few seats in the parliament should be reserved for the women. The lawmakers are still debating on this issue. When our country got independent, only 4% of women were elected as MPs. Today, this number has increased to 11%, which is really low in compared to the increase in population. Once the reservation comes into force, only then women would get through representation in the parliament. Sometimes there are issues in which certain difficult questions are asked regarding the fact that if our democracy is representative enough, the fact that is we ask these questions and are working towards answer shows that India has a better form of democratic